Welcome back, Rebels, to another episode of University Speaks. I'm Maria Debut.
And I'm Anthony Ramos. Thank you for joining us. Now that we are officially in spring, I'm looking forward to going out, spending more time on hikes, being outside. What about you, Maria?
Yeah, same. I love this weather right now, and it makes me want to travel to more places, but honestly, I am not looking forward to this heat that's to come during the summer.
Yeah, I shouldn't be sweating in March.
No.
Vegas heat is nothing to joke about, and that's the beauty of spending summers in the pool and staying hydrated.
Well, water comes in many different forms, like liquid, gas, and ice. From one state of matter to the next, UNLV is leading in research that's redefining the properties of water at high pressures. A team of scientists working in UNLV's Nevada Extreme Conditions Lab pioneered a new method for measuring the properties of water under high pressure by incrementally raising the pressure and periodically basting it with a laser beam.
The team observed the water transition into a phase called Ice X. This demonstration was led by Zach Grande, a UNLV PhD student. Although it is unlikely we will find this new phase of ice anywhere on the surface of Earth, it is likely a common ingredient within the mantle of Earth. For a university in the desert, water is finding itself to be more useful. UNLV is collaborating with the Southern Nevada Health District, Southern Nevada Water Authority, and Desert Research Institute to detect emergent variants of the CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID throughout wastewater surveillance. This program will help monitor and track increases in the volume of the virus, as well as different changes of COVID-19 variants.
Workday is another useful tool that many NSHE students use to work here on campus. When it was first launched in 2017, all departments' administrators had to relearn the system in order to do their jobs.
However, like with many software problems occur and bugs need to be fixed, UNLV Senior Vice President and CFO Gene Vach established a program to solve these bugs and improve overall communication across NSHE.
Rebel Rebound, a UNLV program that launched in January, aims to boost enrollment and graduation for so-called justice-impacted students. The program provides academic resources and mentorship for any student facing societal barriers as a result of their interaction with the criminal justice system.
Programs like Rebel Rebound have been around for more than 60 years, with data showing that programs like these can boost graduation rates. Rebel Rebound program coordinator Jason Scott states that with mass incarceration, education is the best form of rehabilitation.
UNLV has named Leah Sean Greenwald as the next dean for the William Boyd School of Law, which will take effect on July 1st.
Greenwald is currently the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Professor of Law of Suffolk University Law School in Boston, and will be at the first Asian American to lead the Boyd School of Law.
Greenwald stated that she was long admired Boyd Law for its pioneer role as Nevada's first and only law school for its innovative programming that produced practice-ready graduates well prepared to serve and lead in their communities. We are excited for Greenwald to join the UNLV family and call her our rebel.
Inflation continues to spike throughout the Las Vegas Valley. Gas prices have been skyrocketing along with the housing market. But what does that mean for college students here at UNLV?
It's really affecting me.
It sucks.
It's tough.
Comments directly from the UNLV's student body. As inflation continues to increase, these students are directly feeling the effects.
I can't really work as much because I'm super busy and I have to fill my tank like every 2 weeks.
I only work part-time and I'm double majoring, so I'm always conflicting between like, okay, now that the gas prices are increasing, I want to work as much.
Gas prices now seeming more stressful than some exams. The cost of living on the rise, but what about the cost of an education? UNLV Student Body Vice President Abraham Lugo tells us that tuition increases aren't a guarantee but cannot be ruled out.
We haven't heard of any dramatic tuition increases this coming year, thankfully. So hopefully it'll remain that way.
The concern now, allocating funding to different areas on campus as needed to ensure a balance.
By creating this sort of fund for students, there would also be funds taken away from smaller pools. We need to be very intentional with how we go about offsetting these costs, making sure that if we're trying to help everybody, we're not hurting other communities in the process as well.
With the stress of having to pay more to live and keep up with grades comes the concern of students' mental health.
As mental health begins to unfortunately deteriorate again, we have to be very methodical about making sure that everybody knows that they have support.
Students have trouble going from school and work while others are surpassing their respective fields. Let's go to Maria for more.
Citali Lopez, a UNLV undergraduate student, has been awarded as the first recipient in UNLV's history to receive the $20,000 Pfizer Diversity Research Fellowship. Thank you for coming in today. And I first want to start by congratulating you for this incredible achievement. And I want to ask you, what is the Pfizer Diversity Research Fellowship, and like, what do you guys do? What do they do? Yeah,
so the fellowship stands for Academic Industrial Relations Fellowship, and it basically promotes diversity among underrepresented individuals. So they just gave like a $20,000 grant to help facilitate research, specifically in the pharmaceutical sciences like organic chemistry. And right now, my lab specifically is working on making an anti-cancer reagent that could potentially inhibit cancerous cells.
so you just mentioned a little bit, but how are you planning to use the money to further your research?
Yeah, so I'm actually at UNLV only through scholarship, so it really helps me focus on my research rather than have to worry about getting a job. So that grant will definitely help me just focus on the research and not have to worry about other elements.
Of course. And I know as a Latina woman, how important it is for you to achieve something so big at this level at UNLV, but also for yourself in your career and as a person.
Yeah, it is something that I cannot even process yet because I don't know, I don't understand the scope of it. But for me, I know growing up, I don't really see, like when I look at who these doctors are, who are the researchers, I don't really see people who look like me. So being able to see that I'm now can like influence this and show them other girls or other underrepresented minorities that they can also achieve this and that we can make a difference.
Representation is extremely important. And I want to ask you, what was the process like to do this?
So me and my professor, Dr. Kong, worked on it together. He was like my mentor in all of this. Basically, he showed me the application and asked if I was interested, and from there I was really interested, not only for the grant, but also like there's a presentation being done at La Jolla where you can present and like meet the scientists there, and I'm really excited about that. So the process for applying it required like many elements, like you show them your research proposal, your transcript, basic things like that, and letters of recommendation.
How many people do you have to like compete with, or like how does that look like, you know, the selecting process of that?
Honestly, I am not sure how many people I was up against or how many people were competing. I do know it was only 3 people were selected against the other universities, or against, I think, in the United States in general.
That's incredible. Wow. And in the years to come, or like in the next year, what are you hoping to achieve, not only with this, but like in your career as a whole? Like where are you heading?
Okay. So I really want to apply to either medical school or go into graduate school for organic chemistry. I'm still like undecisive. I am leaning towards medical school, like applying this cycle, and I definitely want to continue doing research. So even if I do continue into the medical field, I want to work as an academic physician who does research alongside helping patients.
Is there a specific part of research that you want to mostly focus on, or you're letting it come to you as time goes by and the more you learn in the field?
I am definitely focused on diseases in general, because diseases have always interested me, and I see how much grief they bring to a family. So I really want to work in making anti-cancer reagents, or not just cancer, but medicinal drugs.
Yes, as you mentioned, I think that's truly, truly incredible. We are so proud of you. You make UNLV proud. You make us proud. Congratulations once again. And from one success to another, Epsilon Alpha Sigma, the first and only Arab sorority in the nation, are doing their part to help others from across the world. Reporter Caitlin Bustamante has more.
The Empowered Arab Sisterhood at UNLV hosted their 5th annual banquet to raise money for Syrian refugees. Let's take a look. Epsilon Alpha Sigma is the first and only Arab sorority in the nation. Co-director of philanthropy, Diana Rahmani, states that EAS seeks to educate the community on the diversity of the Arab culture and raise awareness of humanitarian crises in Middle Eastern countries that civilians have to go through every single day. Over the last decade, EAS has collectively raised more than $140,000 for Friends of Kayani, a United States nonprofit supporting education for Syrian refugee children in Lebanon. According to Friends of Kayani, Lebanon has more refugees per capita than any other nation in the world and hosts the 4th largest refugee population overall. At their 5th annual Remembering the Refugees banquet, the UNLV chapter of EAS raised over $9,000 for Friends of Kayani, surpassing their initial goal. Arab culture was highlighted throughout the night, featuring a spread of Middle Eastern cuisine, musical performances by the Children of Piano Bella, as well as a dance performed by the members of Pi Kappa Alpha. All of the proceeds raised will go towards providing these Syrian refugee children in Lebanon with education, healthcare, and transportation. This is how these rebels are making a difference. Reporting for University Speaks, I'm Caitlin Bustamante.
Anthony, I love the fact that at UNLV we have the first Arab sorority in the nation.
That's absolutely
It's
incredible to have them here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, organizations like this show how they're making a difference on and off campus.
These are events we are proud to have in our university, and we hope to continue seeing more from other organizations. And talking about university pride, Dominic Lavoie and Quinnell Jones are giving us a rundown of all things UNLV sports.
Thank you, Anthony, and welcome back to this month's edition of Rebel Roundup. I'm Dominic Lavoie.
And I'm Quinnell Jones.
We have a pretty stacked show for you today. How are you feeling, Quinnell?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. How about yourself, my guy?
I'm feeling pretty good. Look good, feel good. Hopefully talk good. So we'll see what happens.
That's how it goes. Real sports.
To kind of kick it off here, the UNLV Skating Rebels hit the ice in St. Louis for the 2022 ACHA National Tournament, entering the tournament in the 4th seed. Now, the Skating Rebels received a first-round bye after being ranked 4th in the country at the end of the regular season, and the University of Pittsburgh played them after beating Navy in their first-round matchup. 2 goals from forward Jason DiMizio and goals from Jaden Ness, Hunter Mazzillo, and Brendan Manning lifted the Rebels to the next round.
The Rebels moved on and faced arguably their biggest rival as of now, the Liberty Flames. The last time the two teams faced off, a brawl broke out at the end of the game, resulting in multiple suspensions. This game just a little bit cleaner. No fights, but the Rebels made it to 2 straight wins against the Flames at Nationals by a score of 4-2, thanks to scoring from DiMizio once more, Paxton Malone, Michael Petusov, and Nick Flanders.
Then, the toughest test of Nationals for the Rebels came in the form of a rematch against the University of Central Oklahoma. The Broncos were the only team to sweep the Rebels during the regular season, and they were on the ropes until the 3rd period came around. Goals from Bradley Gallant and Michael Petusov put UNLV up 2-1 entering the final period. However, as the scoreboard shows us, they fell just short. 2 unanswered goals and an empty net goal later, the Broncos beat UNLV for the 3rd time in a row and went to the national championship game, losing to the Lindenwood Lions, which also doubles as the newest NCAA Division I hockey team. Now, Q, I remember we talked about nationals, and it was really exciting, and it's kind of a shame to see him fall so short, but I mean, this was the Skating Rebels' first time in the Final Four, so there's definitely something to be proud of there.
Yeah, something to be proud of and something to build off of, for next year and years to come. So hopefully
100%.
that leads to a powerhouse at UNLV.
And I mean, like you said, that might lead to a powerhouse. They only lost 3 players this year.
Right.
And they have a bunch of new players coming in. I mean, one of their new kids, Caleb Strong, he played in the USPHL. He has, I think, 40-something goals in 30 games, and he has like 80 points in 30 games. He's a really good talent, and he's going to be exciting to watch next year. So it's going to be a pretty fun season next year. Yeah. In other news, Formula One is returning to Las Vegas. That's right. So, according to reports from ESPN, the series is planning to add a Las Vegas street race to their calendar as soon as Thanksgiving weekend in 2023. The temporary circuit will require road improvements like temporary barriers, curbing, and the sealing of manhole covers. These improvements will be covered by Formula One's sanctioning body, the FIA. Now, this is huge. The fact that we're getting a race here is just amazing, and I mean, it's on the strip. It's going to cause a lot of road closures, but just imagine seeing like these super high-tech race cars racing on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Right. I always thought it was something you see in like video games or in the movies and stuff like that.
Like some Need for Speed type stuff.
Yeah, it's finally happening. So
it's going to be really cool. And
I
mean, this isn't the first time Vegas is having a Formula One race either.
About 4 other times it's happened here, but it's been a while.
They had one actually in the Caesars Palace parking lot in like the 1980s. It's kind of weird to think that race cars are racing in a parking lot, but I mean, it was the 1980s. There was plenty of crazy stuff going on, but they're actually racing on a somewhat purpose-built circuit this time around.
On other news on the strip, the NFL draft is finally coming to Las Vegas, and the experience is shaping up to be a very unique one. The draft will take place April 28th through the 30th. Your Las Vegas Raiders did have picks in the first and second round of the draft. However, the team used those picks in a blockbuster deal to acquire all-pro wide receiver Devontae Adams, reuniting him with his college quarterback and friend Derek Carr. The main stage will be in Caesars Forum, with the NFL Draft Experience, a 3-day festival with interactive games, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and more. The red carpet plans for the 2020 draft that was not to be are still in place. Another draft stage will be in the Bellagio Fountains, and the prospects will be ferried to the stage by boat.
That's going to be cool.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be, oh my God, I can't wait.
I remember it was supposed to happen, 2 years ago, but COVID messed it up, and I remember the layout for it. I was so excited. I had friends trying to fly in for it, so.
I mean, I don't blame them. That was going to be super cool, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, Las Vegas had the NHL All-Star Game this year, and they did some stuff in the Bellagio Fountain, so it only makes sense to do the NFL draft and go big like that and have the stage in the fountains.
Sports is really coming to Vegas. It's taking over. So, yeah,
it's really cool to see.
The Running Rebels season ended in disappointment, but Kevin Kruger's dynasty at UNLV is just getting started. The 18-14 Rebels got the 5th seed in the Mountain West tournament and had to face the number 4 seed Wyoming Cowboys.
The Rebels beat the Cowboys in the regular season, but in tournament play, they started off cold. They started off the quarterfinal matchup unable to knock down a jump shot. Wyoming built a 15-point lead, and even though UNLV started a fierce second-half comeback, they can never get the lead and keep it.
Senior guard Bryce Hamilton had the chance to send the game to overtime with a buzzer-beating 3, but he missed, and his UNLV career was over. Coach Kevin Kruger will look to build off of some of the early season momentum his team built to get the Running Rebel program back on the map.
Meanwhile, on the Lady Rebels side, Lindy LaRocque has been at UNLV for only 2 years, but she is already leaving her mark with the Lady Rebels. Our reporter Nick Todorovich has more.
Coach Lindy LaRocque got the chance to rebuild the Lady Rebel program, and just 2 years into her mission, she took them to the NCAA tournament. The 2019-2020 season was a huge disappointment for the Lady Rebels. They finished the season 13-17 and missed out on any postseason tournament play. Former UNLV athletic director Desiree Reed-Francois knew it was time to make a change. She got Lindy LaRocque on board, and Lindy knew she had to get to work right away to get the Lady Rebel program back on the map. Her first season in charge of the team was in 2020 when the pandemic hit. The ladies grinded through the adversity but ended up getting knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Mountain West tournament. That season was an important learning lesson for Lindy and her ladies.
Obviously last year, the first year, there was like a number of crazy things, first year head coach, you know, a brand new staff that is working together. We went through a lot of growing pains. You know, we had a lot of good ideas, and we were just kind of trying to see exactly what we had, the pieces that we had, what would work.
Going into this season, Coach LaRocque knew her team was ready to take the next step, but she needed to make sure her players were all ready to grind and work together to achieve glory.
I feel like we just trust each other. Like she said, the open person is our best offense. I feel like when the ball's in my hands, they trust me to make the right decision. When the ball in Desi's hands, they trust for her to make the right decision. So it's just about trusting and trusting what Lindy's telling us to do out there.
The ladies battled their way to get first place in the Mountain West Conference regular season standings. This was a huge step, but the ladies didn't want to taste early playoff defeat like the season before.
You know, I'm trying to make a comeback from last year. You know, we lost in the beginning, and I just want to make it all the way through, even make it to the dance. That's something that I've been hoping for, and just want to put the city on my back and show them that I'll represent for them.
The ladies rose up to the occasion, defeating Utah State University, the Air Force Academy, and Colorado State University to make the NCAA tournament. They got 13 seed in the tournament and had to face the University of Arizona, which is a powerhouse in women's basketball. Even though the ladies played a tight back-and-forth game, they ended up losing 72-67. The team should hold their heads high because no one expected them to make it this far and give Arizona the challenge that they did. The future is also bright. Stars Desiree Young and Essence Book are expected to return. The freshmen got quality minutes and will grow, and a lot of young ladies around the country should be excited to commit to UNLV and play for Coach LaRocque. For University Speaks, I'm Nick Todorovich.
That's all we have for sports today. Let's send it back to the desk.
That was a well-deserved win for our Lady Rebels. Now, I'm not much of a sports person. I kind of do it for the chips and wings, but I love going to concerts.
And Vegas is a hotspot for the best festivals and performers. Lina Ataut has more for all things entertainment.
Las Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world, and we as UNLV students get the best access to it. So let's get into the biggest entertainment news. First, the Life is Beautiful lineup has finally been released. Headliners include Arctic Monkeys, Jack Harlow, Migos, and Lorde. The festival is set to be held on September 16th through 18th at downtown Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale now. Next, we have another big music festival coming up, EDC. EDC is going to be held on May 20th, 21st, and 22nd at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The lineup was recently released, featuring artists like Acraze, Alesso, and Dylan Francis. Tickets are available online. Now, Vegas has always had the best residencies, and this summer is no different. Lady Gaga's residency at the Dolby Live Theater at the Park MGM will be from April 1st to May 1st. Silk Sonic's residency at the Dolby Live Theater at the Park MGM will be from now until May 29th. Lastly, Katy Perry's residency at the theater at the Resorts World will be from now until August. Make sure to grab tickets while you can. Shifting a bit from entertainment to food, the well-known meme Salt Bae recently opened his restaurant in the park called Nasser et Las Vegas. For a period of time, if you order a steak, Salt Bae himself will come to your table, chop up the meat, and do the iconic Salt Bae move. Las Vegas has a lot for this spring season, but what are you most excited about? Let us know on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and TikTok at UNLV Speaks UNLV. Now, what are you guys most excited about?
Okay, Vegas is poppin'. I am looking forward to Life is Beautiful because of Arctic Monkeys and Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant.
Yes.
Cage the Elephant.
I'm most excited for Lady Gaga's residency. That's going to be
oh my God,
show.
Yes. Yeah. She's an incredible performer.
amazing.
So
Queen.
that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
EDC is also exciting. It's a beautiful, for the people that haven't gone, it's like, it's so interactive. It's not only about the music, but it's just, there's so much to do. I enjoy it.
I've had a lot of friends in my ear this year telling me to go to EDC.
You should. It's incredible.
But I'm thinking about it.
It's an incredible experience, truly.
100%. I haven't been to EDC personally, but it's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah.
We live in the best city to have events back to back and enjoy all of them. That's all the time we have for our show. Be sure to follow our socials to stay up to date with news around our campus. I'm Maria Dibut.
And I'm Anthony Ramos. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time for our final show of the season.